And away we go. It is Chicken Dinner Masters Edition, early in the week on a Tuesday night, just after 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Sam Panayotovich with you, and I am so excited because it's shows like this, centralized, specialized shows. I just bring in people that are really smart at it and really good at it and let them roundtable it out. And that's what we're going to do in less than 10 minutes from now. Jeff Sealey, Geoff Fienberg, Wes Reynolds. The outright wins collectively this year for those three guys, I believe we're at 10. And the Masters is where I lean on guys like this because there are so many ways to bet this event. This isn't the Genesis. This isn't this random tournament in the middle of February. Sportsbooks want your business in the Masters. And what they do is go out of their way to put up hundreds and hundreds of markets. You can bet not only on guys that do the usual outright top 5, top 10, top 20. You can bet best American, best Canadian, best live guy, over under on rounds, head-to-head matchups, group play, you name it. You can bet it. I even saw this morning at the Superbook in Vegas. Jeff Sherman put up a market on which left-handed golfer will have the best Masters. As I've always said, the more candy in the candy store, the more likely you are to leave with something. And that is the Masters. It is the highest handled golf tournament of the year, and it will always be that way because it's the first. And a lot of people still have the itch after March Madness, after the Final Four, after the National Championship. Here's Augusta. And I have gotten so many texts Monday and Tuesday from friends of mine that are asking everything under the sun. And I said, I'm going to write some of these down. I'm going to put them on the side, and I'm going to ask Fienberg and Sealey and Reynolds and see what they think. Some people are going to pick guys they always pick. Other guys are going to use parlays. Others are going to look at certain statistics. These guys do not get there the same way. And that's why it's beautiful, because there are so many ways to bet golf. And here I am looking at Scotty Scheffler's dinner menu and adding Scotty. It's so funny how golf works. Every sharp golf guy says, oh, you can't bet the favorite. I learned my lesson the hard way 2 years ago when I said, I'm going to bet Rahm to win at Augusta. Not exactly a hot take. He was favored. He was going off 8 or 9 to 1. And you talk to bookmakers and I go, hey, I really like Rahm here. Can't bet the fucking favorite. Oh, you want me to bet a guy at 80 to 1 that loses or misses the cut? It's so funny, some of the bullshit I hear about golf. If you want to bet the favorite, bet the favorite. I understand 450 isn't a great number, but if you wheel it with something else, why not? I have a couple things built, and we'll share these bets over the next 40 minutes or so. My outrights are Luda at 20, Hovland at 50, Justin Thomas, there he is at 30, and Batia at 70. Are any of them going to win? I have no idea. Those are bets mostly from other people that I respect. But I've got Ludwig Åberg, top 10 at like plus 180, wheeled with 5 other things. Celtics to win the East, Thunder to win the West, the Rangers to win the pennant. I'm taking a plus price, putting it with another plus price, and watching the odds go up. Now, the Celtics and Thunder both have, minus 140, minus 145 ranges. But if you go like Yankees and Åberg top 10 or Rangers and Åberg top 10, look at some of these prices. And I'm going to build a couple of these once Jeff, and Wes get here. But before we do that, I have to address one thing. Being on the other side of a Duke melt is no fun. Even though people don't like Duke, I think collectively, I don't really mess with Duke either. I just happen to bet them, as we talked about, in the middle of January at 6.25 to 1. And they have a 14-point lead in the second half of the Final Four. And they're up 9 points with 2 minutes to go. And they're up 6 points with 57 seconds left to go. And they're up 3 points with 30 seconds to go. And you look at all the numbers and what their expected win percentage was. They should have won this 95% of the time. Being on the wrong side of that on Saturday, it happens. It blows, but it happens. How much worse do you think I felt on Monday night when the team, Houston, that could do nothing wrong on Saturday night, did everything right to rip my soul out and cost me $12,000 of futures, only to see that very same team come out on Monday and be able to do nothing right. Final minute and 20, Houston doesn't get a shot up in the national championship. Houston, in 4 straight possessions, turns the ball over. I don't want to hear about the refs. Houston was in total control, a lot like Duke was in total control on Saturday. Houston plays an A+ game down the stretch on Saturday and an F down the stretch on Monday. What are the odds of that? That's a tough one to swallow. I've been saying all week long, too. I had guys that had cashed some Final Four tickets. We were laying 120, 130, 140. What do we do? Should we hedge? I'm not a hedge person. I didn't hedge. Some people did. They ended up taking Houston +5, Houston money line. Good for them. You make the right bet, you're in a good spot down the road. But I watched that final 2 minutes back of Duke Houston from Saturday. Unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And now the texts are, who do we like for next year? Oh, great. Let me dive into college basketball futures the day after the tournament with 800 players in the transfer portal and give you an outright winner. That's what I want to do. All right. I see all of my guests are here, and that's why I'm here today. I'm going to shut the hell up. I'm going to light the match and get out of the way. And I'm very proud of this guest list. Let me add them one by one. Wes Reynolds from VSiN, I think, has the most outrights through early April that I've ever seen in a calendar year. You hear him on VSiN, you read him on VSiN, and he joins us now. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. You can only do a golf podcast as well if you have somebody named Geoff on. And it's even better when you have Jeffs that spell their names differently. So let's go alphabetically and bring in from Mayo Media and the Hammer, Geoff Fienberg, Geoff, joining the show. Hello, handsome.
What up, boys?
Geoff has been on fire as well. But I would argue that in terms of recent results, I think Jeff Sealey has the most outright pins, joining us now from the Cutmaker podcast, heating up at the right time, heading into the Masters. And I also, Jeff with a J and Jeff with a G, I saw a little bickering this morning about one Brooks Koepka, and I'd love to see that shit coming into Chicken Dinner.
No bickering. I fan of Wes, and I love Jeff. So just seeing Jeff's face pop up here just makes me smile. I know how much he loves Brooks Koepka, and I got to admit, had I known that I was going to be doing the show with him tonight, I probably wouldn't have thrown like an early AM grenade towards Brooks Koepka. But yeah, I don't know. Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, like they're for other people. They're not for me this week. They're not for me.
Sealey, you're joining us too. You're on location, aren't you? Where are you right now?
I am in a cabin in Tennessee on spring break with my family here. So I wish I was in a cabin in Georgia. I'm down the street from Rocky Top. So there's a lot of disappointment here around college basketball. But yeah, no, it's great to be here with these guys. Obviously, among friends here, excited for this conversation. And yeah, it's funny, Jeff. You mentioned Spieth, and I was talking this morning, and really like you could really include Koepka in this too. I would say at this point, like are there 3 guys that have a wider range of outcomes than Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, or Victor Hovland? Like any of them can win, and any can finish DFL.
I'm laughing at Jeff Sealey's headline here. If you're watching live on YouTube or X, President of the Koepka for Life Academy for Canadians. So this should be a very interesting show. I eventually want to get to a point where we're all just going back and forth, but I do have to kind of start this party off the right way. So let me go clockwise and start with you, Wes. In terms of betting the Masters, you could take this wherever you want, and then we'll go to Jeff and then Jeff. What's the most important thing or two before you even place a bet at Augusta?
Probably just getting the right numbers, because it's the major that obviously is up the longest of any of the 4 majors, because these prices get put up like October, November. So a lot of it is just getting numbers and just timing the market, I think, really at the right time. And that's why I kind of think it's like the hardest major for me. For some people, it's the easiest because it's like, okay, we know you can cut off half the field. You can cut off the old guys. You can cut off pretty much all the debutantes and, the guys that won the Sanderson Farms Open or championship to get into this field. So you can cut them out. But for me, it's the hardest just because you got to time the market so right. And you end up having too many outrights, I think, than you want. Because it's like, I'm just grabbing all these good numbers. I'm grabbing all these good numbers. And then you get to Masters Week. It's like, I hate this bet, but I've got a really good number. So yeah, I think if you're not starting out early, it's okay to have a small card from an outright standpoint. And because there's so much more money in the market, I think it's okay to play just placement markets if you're not sure on an outright. Like if you have that fear factor, you don't want to go against Scotty. You don't want to go against Rory. Okay, play top 20s, top 30s. You don't have to bet the outrights necessarily, I think, to make money in this thing.
I also like that some of these books are allowing you to bet without Scotty or without Rory or both. So that makes it interesting. It's sort of like insurance against the top two guys. Same question to you, Fienberg. When you think Augusta and you bet Augusta, what's important?
I don't want to overthink anything. I mean, come Portrush, come Oakmont, I will want to take in everything because there's the lack of familiarity. We know what type of player is going to win here, and we know what the course is going to give us. So I don't think hardened golf fans need to overthink this much. But it's just, we had an 80-1 hit with Victor. We had a 40-1 with Min Woo, 90-1 with Brian Harmon. Some nice numbers to catch leading into this major. This is not the major where you're going to bet a little, and win a lot. It's just not. It's just proven. The last 5 years haven't even been entertaining down the finish. It's been chalk at the top with unentertaining finishes. From an outright perspective. And we could feel great about some numbers and beating the market to what you bet them, but you almost just have to decide which incredible player is going to play to their ceiling this week. And that's sort of the game you're kind of playing even in the lead up to the tournament.
I'm glad you brought that up, that the favorites are usually right there or usually win the tournament. I lost hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars over the years on guys that 70-1. Oh, got a good number. I bet 70, he closed 40, and then he's home by Saturday because he didn't make the cut. And Jeff Sealey, I told the story off the top as well. The year that I finally bit the bullet and said, "Fuck this, I'm betting the favorite. I'm betting Rahm at 9-1." I got sharp gambling Twitter. Oh, you can't bet the favorite. Watch me bet him at 9-1. What's important to you, Sealey?
Buddy, what's important to me is how do I win $1 million? And you were with me watching the Masters. I know where you got your parlays to build these things from. It's from you. We had Scotty Sheffler every which way to lose to win $1 million. Parlayed with the Celtics. Parlayed with all of these different ways. How do I win $1 million? How do I win $100,000 off taking a guy that I think is going to win the Masters and parlaying it to OKC to win the West? In my case, if Oberg wins and the Indiana Fever win the WNBA championship, I'm buying a new house like that. So those are the kind of things that I like. I've got Auburn Final Four Fever Oberg parlay. So I am so pot committed on Oberg in futures and parlays at $25 a piece that it's insane. But no, my thing is, how can I take a good bet that is 20, 30, 15, 20, 30-1 and parlay it into something that I can crush if I'm right. And I'm willing to invest $1,000 or $1,500 at a chance to win 500,000 or $1 million. That's the way I approach the Masters, the outright market.
As I said, there are many different ways to bet golf, and these three give you three different answers. And that's why I wanted to have the versatility of the panel. I don't need three guys that are all going to tell me the same thing. I need three different perspectives. If I was going to throw out, all right, you said Oberg, so I can't use him. If I was going to ask the three of you right now, who wants to buy Colin Morikawa stock first? Are there any takers? Anybody want Colin before anybody else?
Raise his hand.
I see Wes.
Yes.
All right, Wes is up. All right, so you want Colin. Geoff doesn't. Wes wants Morikawa. Why are you higher than those two?
Yeah, look, I think it's the approach numbers, which I think have gotten back to world class. And I know Colin Morikawa, if you've seen a lot of his media availabilities, he's been pretty churlish with the media. He's been very short, and that's uncharacteristic of one of the guys that have been seen as like the baby faces of the sport. And he's been hot, I think, under the collar after he kind of let Russell Henley in the back door there at Bay Hill at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And I think Morikawa, his approach numbers can overcome his lack of distance. He's I think 168 on the PGA Tour in driving distance, but the approach numbers are back. He's finished, I think, 10th or 5th, 10th, and 3rd over the last 3 years. And Augusta National, historically, more of a predictive event. The guys that play well here usually play well here. And I think he started to kind of figure this place out here a little bit. Now, the price is not a bargain exactly. I think 18-1 at DraftKings might be the best number out there. But like you said, Sam, over the last several years, it has been short prices. It has been Scotty at 4-1 last year. It was John Rahm, I believe. I want to say he was 9-1. It was Scotty at 16. You don't get as many bombs here in this tournament as you think. Like Danny Willett several years ago was a bomb at 66-1. He was rated 12th in the world. So, you got to go with class players. So there's nothing wrong with betting shorter prices. So I don't think the price should scare you off here necessarily.
And even the price range here, if you're watching it live or watching it in post, look at the range on Morikawa. So this is the prop shop that I use all the time. 18-1 at DraftKings to win outright, 16 at FanDuel, 14 at MGM, 14 at 365, 14 at Rivers, and then 12-1 at Caesars.
If Morikawa wins on Sunday night, it will feel like, oh my God, it was so obvious. Like Morikawa, Russell, like even a guy like Russell Henley, Justin Thomas. I'm not saying I'm betting these guys, but like everything leading into their Masters with what they're doing on the golf course. If they win on Sunday, a part of me will feel really stupid, because a lot of arrows are pointing at them. A lot of signs are pointing that this will like seemingly make perfect sense when it happens, that it should be happening. Wes alluded to it. I got a real pickle with Morikawa right now, though. The off the golf course stuff has really got me in a wrong way. He gives me these Meghan Markle vibes. I get a lot of her, like my wife I just see a lot of the same stuff that like just insane what this guy is up to in front of a microphone. He took a blemish-free reputation. Blemish-free. The 80-year-old that watches Golf Channel all day doesn't put 2 and 2 together that Morikawa had him won in 500 days. Now he picks his fight with the media, and now he's a bit of a jerk and for a guy who's won 2 majors, like in quotations, like he's sort of got like a bit of a choker label, the way he's even himself said he's put it in cruise control a bit on Sundays, self-admitted with some of his reflections. I'm not saying he can't win. I'm just pivoting around Morikawa. I don't want to invest in a 500-day win drought ending at Augusta.
I saw you nodding up and down, Sealey. You agree?
Yeah, 100%. He's turning into a beta. I mean, that's really, I mean, again, to Jeff's point, I mean, beta in relative terms, right? I'm speaking relatively speaking. But listen, I mean, statistically, he grades out great. There's nothing to not like about Colin Morikawa statistically. And to Jeff's point, if he wins, is it going to be like, oh, well, duh? I mean, that's fine. I'm not betting him. He's not going to be in my DFS player pool. I actually, that's not true. I have one bet on him, and it's for him to take second. Because I don't think he's going to win. So that's, yeah. I mean, in the event he does run hot, I think he'll probably find a way to take second. But yeah, I'm out on Morikawa in general.
Let's go, Wes, with a guy that we love that you would still bet at market price, and then we'll just kind of go around the horn again. Is there a guy that, given the current outlay and the current market, that you still think, okay, these people that are listening right now maybe haven't made a bet yet, and this is live on a Tuesday. People will listen all day Wednesday. If they haven't got invested yet, is there a player you like, whether it's outright, 5, 10, 20, 30? You take it wherever you want.
Yeah, I'll go with an outright at the mid-range. And basically what we've seen over the last 15 years, it's either a shorter price or like a mid-range guy. It's very rarely a long shot, but this could be defined as a long shot if you believe 60-1 where I got him. I kind of over the last couple of days have been very much warming up to Bobby Mack. Robert McIntyre, the Scotsman, trying to be the first one to win the Masters since Sandy Lyle. And he just fits this place. If left-handers have done very well here over the years, especially the ones that hit it long and spray it all over the place, like Phil Mickelson, Bubba Watson, and then hit some like incredible, how did you do that shot? And I think Robert McIntyre kind of fits along that same line. He hasn't been in this field the last 2 years, and then he got 2 wins, and he got some win equity last year at the Canadian Open and then also at the Scottish Open after he had that heartbreaker the year before where he lost it to Rory McIlroy at the end. 12th and 23rd, very respectable finishes here for his 2 times at Augusta. And he's been consistent all year. I think 17th or better, 6 finishes of his 9 worldwide events. A little bit curious that he played the Singapore tournament on the DP World Tour in his preparation, kind of like what Shane Lowry did last year, and it didn't work out for Shane. So that was a little curious instead of playing down in Houston, which I think was much better prep, like Minwoo Lee, of course, did. But Robert McIntyre, if you want to go a little bit down the board, I think this guy's going to play very well and be in the mix on Sunday.
Sealey.
I think Bobby Mack's a great pick, so I agree with that, Wes. I like that a lot. If a guy's not named Ludwig Oberg, my favorite player in this, and if I were rebetting it now, I would take, you can get Hideki at 30. I think Hideki has a very, very good chance to win. I like Hideki a lot. Former winner, his back could flare up and he could be WD. I mean, anything can happen again a little bit with him, but early in the year, I liked what I saw. He's cooled off a little bit lately. But I just have so much confidence in this guy at this place. And if his driver cooperates, his short game is so much better than it used to be. That's so critically important here. I am massively in on Hideki this week. 30-1. You can still find him at 30-1. Love Hideki.
Bobby Mack, Hideki. How about you, Fienberg?
I like both of those picks. Obviously, Wes, that Bobby Mack stuff, he's not one of my guys, but like over the last couple of days, he might be becoming one of my guys. For me, listen, you got to take some risk a little bit, and there are some question marks, but I'm willing to back Xander Schauffele. It's still, some 25-1s available on him. Won 2 majors last year. And yes, as I say this, it's crazy to think he would win this, which would be back-to-back majors, and then holy crap at the U.S. Open, he could be the one to snipe a Grand Slam. Unlikely, I know. But coming back from injury at Bay Hill, like, no one does that. No one does that. He was forced to do that. Bay Hill, the player's Valspar, it's not a friendly return to play. Every week he got a bit better, and then making the cut out of the blue at Bay Hill, I don't think people gave that enough credit. Guys don't return at Bay Hill, they return at a layup course. That's one of the hardest 1-2 tracks in the league. That Xander Schauffele approach round at Tampa, where he only finished 12th, the driver abandoned him a bit, and he better fix it in these 2 weeks of layoff, Sammy. That approach round, since like stats have been monitored, that is on the Kim Jong-il level of approach play. It is one of the greatest recorded statistical approach performances ever in the shot tracking era. And I'm willing to trust that other parts of his game are around. This guy's got 4 top 10s in his last 6 runs at the Masters, including a second. Yes, the floor is lower because there are questions, and I do worry about some of the intricate stuff about it, golf, and maybe some short game, which is a little concerned just because of a bit of a lack of reps. But when I only think like 12 guys can win, and I'm not betting the 2 at the very top, there's not many to choose from, and it all just comes to Xander and this number in the 20s.
I just bet 3 bets in the last 5 minutes. That's the problem with hosting this show with you 3 guys. Now I have 3 more guys I have to worry about, which is fine. Joe O this morning on Bets West was saying, I have so much fucking exposure on this tournament, and then I chill out for the other 3 majors. But this is, I think a lot of people, guys, and whoever wants to jump in here, by all means, I think people are just excited for Augusta and the music and the pageantry and how beautiful the course is. And they also don't want to go to work Friday. They want to call off and watch golf for the first of 4 majors. I think people get that first real golf itch. It's kind of like, casual hockey and NBA bettors. They don't care until the playoffs. I think a lot of people, this is New Year's week, and then Thursday's New Year's Day, if that makes any sense.
Well, Timmy, it's not
this
just
is
that.
The Kentucky Derby.
Well, yeah,
sure.
That's a great call, and that's a great call, Wes. And you see a guy in the spring, in the swing season or early winter, right? January, February, the Century, whatever, and they're playing well. Your first inclination is to bet them in the Masters. That's just what people do. They don't bet them at the PGA. They don't bet them at the Open. They bet them at the Masters. That's what people do. So you're right. You invariably end up with a portfolio of random guys that you may or may not have bet again. But next thing you know, you're $1,000 deep in futures on guys you probably wouldn't bet again. I fortunately have one that I love. I would still bet again, but I have plenty that I don't. So yeah, there's and again, to the point everybody said earlier, they're probably not going to win. You get a guy at 100, he's probably not going to win. He's not going to end up at 20. So I think that's just it. It's people are watching golf again, right, about the waste management, and they're watching football, watching golf, watching things come along, and the first thing they think is, I want to bet this guy at the Masters, and I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and what I was saying, it is very much like the Kentucky Derby because it's a tournament that everybody bets on, that the casuals bet on, because the casuals, as you get into the summer, you're getting closer to football, or maybe they're taking off from betting, they might not be as hardcore into like the Open Championship like we are. And plus with the Open, I've had like horrible Opens based on weather. Just getting on, everybody was in the bad end of the draw or everybody was in the good end of the draw. With the Masters, I feel people feel like they can win here because it's like, okay, it's the same course I watch every year. It's long. It's, a long walk. It's hilly. It's 75, almost 7,600 yards. So they've seen all these signature holes. They've seen Amen Corner. They've seen that pin placement in 18 for 20, 30 years watching this thing. So that's why I think that they get involved with it. So that's why maybe you don't want to pay attention and be as price sensitive as you would normally be, just simply because there's so much more liquidity and there's so much more money in the market.
So I want you guys also think about this. I didn't prep any of you. I like to kind of throw it at you and you guys hit it when you see it. But I think a nice exercise in budget, let's just give everybody $200 and we can do this in like 10, 15 minutes as we wrap it up. I'll give y'all $200 and you guys kind of do what you want with it. If you want to put, 100 on this or 25 on that, because I get a lot of texts like this and I direct them all to this podcast tonight. I got $200. What should I do? And I'm not the person to ask. So if you guys want to kind of take that and run with it or say, hey, I'll put 50 on this, 50 on that, 100 on that, whatever. I think people will be interested to hear how you would budget a $200 roll heading into Augusta. I was also watching Joe O this morning, licking his lips. He started building cut parlays on the show this morning, which I think is another national pastime, though. He's got 10 guys to make and he's got 6 guys to miss at plus prices. And like you, Sealey, he's betting, cut parlays at 40-1 and miss cut parlays at 80-1. And he says, if I lose it, I don't care. But the action just really speaks volumes. And as every Vegas bookmaker will tell you, this is the highest handled tournament every single year.
I mean, I'll start. I'll be real. Mine's real simple. I would do, and I haven't mentioned this guy yet, but I would do I would take $50 and I'd take $150 and I would put it on Russell Henley top 20. That's my favorite bet on the board. Russell Henley top 20 at plus 125. That's my conservative bet that I think I'd be stunned if it didn't get there. If I take $150 and do that, and I would take $50 and I would take a Hideki Matsuyama Indiana Fever to win the WNBA championship. $50 pays $7,750. So there's my approach. Russell Henley for 150 top 20 and a Hideki Matsuyama Indiana Fever parlay.
It's almost like you had the math ready for me. Like you didn't even need the time. I said we'll do it
almost
at the
like
end.
You've already placed
No,
it.
sorry. It's almost like I've already bet it.
Yeah, it's almost like I
Yes.
just looked at my pendings and then said, "Oh, what do you know? These are These are the ones I'm going to go with. All right, Wes, I see you jotting notes down. $200. What do you do?
Yeah, I usually split him in terms of like the placements and the outrights. I actually end up having more money on placements throughout the week, and that's what kind of carries you because you're not going to hit an outright every week. And look, all three of us have been very fortunate to start the season, but there's going to be dry spells. So I think placement markets are a lot of ways to go. So I'm probably going to split it half and half here. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with a 40 on John Rahm, who I think is sneakily under the radar this week, despite the fact that he's like number 3 and 4 on the odds board. And I think being at Augusta, that's going to get his competitive juices flowing once again, because it's kind of been questioned if he really loves LIV or he doesn't like the competition. He's going to love the competition this week. So John Rahm, 40 on him. I'm going to go with 20 on Bobby Mack in terms of in and outright. And also let's go 20 on Morikawa and 20 on Cantlay. I know that none of those are real bombs, but that's what I'm going to do for that. And then in terms of the placement markets, let's go with the top 20 on one that I think we've all hit at some point this year. Let's go half on Sepp Straka at a top 20 here. And I know he's never been a contender, but I love the ball striking. I'm not willing to bet him to win yet, but I think Sepp Straka could go well here. So him for a top 20. And then I'm going to mix it up with a couple of the obscure markets here. Let's go 25 apiece. Let's go 25 on Davis Thompson as the low debutant. Now, he's one of the shorter price guys, but I think his game fits here. Big game off the tee. Guy that can get on runs with birdies. So Davis Thompson, and then one, and this is one I don't know. I don't know if you played this, Fienberg, but did you play Benny on Low Asian?
Yeah,
I thought I saw that you had played that.
Yeah,
I like that, and I actually followed and played that at 5-1 this morning. So 25 on Benny on Low Asian.
It goes in the face of Sealey's big on Hideki, but I'm taking. It's sort of like I see Hideki as the roadblock. It's the significant roadblock. I'm not diminishing it, but if we can get past that, then I think it's all there for Benny.
Okay, so that's Wes's portfolio. Smaller bets, but more action. And if you need to hit the rewind button, you can do so and write all this stuff down. Geoff makes 2 bets. Wes makes closer to 10 bets, and that's okay. All right, Fienberg, I assume Benny on is part of your $200, but I don't want to speak for you. What would you do with 2 Benjamins?
No, because he's not. Because if someone actually wants me to spend their $200 for them, they probably really don't know what they're doing. So I'd say put 100 on Rory, and I would say 50 on Rahm, 50 on Xander. And if I had a little more money, I would say maybe well, no, I don't want to just get into it, but I tried to in my head find a way to put a little on Min Woo for them. But once Rory, I would just say 100 on Rory, and guys at top. You're gonna want a Sunday sweat. If you're asking me how to spend your Masters money, I like to bet outrights. If you're someone that just wants to double up, Corey Connors at even money, a top Canadian, I up to minus 120. I don't use any of those words that influencers use, but it actually just seems scary. I'm getting tricked, I guess would be the fair way to say it. How am I getting tricked? Pendrith's a debutant. Taylor's never missed the cut. Weir's going to be working TV in Canada on the weekend. What am I missing here? Corey Connors slays at the Masters.
He tried to miss the cut last week for me, Geoff. He really tried hard to miss the cut.
I sweated that top 20 last week.
I meant top 20.
And then you thought he was going to win, and then it was a struggle for a top 20. So, but he is like a banana stand. There's always a bit of money in Connors. And it, part of me is tempted, Sam, to literally risk Connors, back my whole outright card up with a Connors top Canadian. To just save my week. I've workshopped that in my head a bit, so we'll see.
You're on mute, Sammy.
I lost you, Sammy.
Yeah.
I muted myself. My bad. I was writing down "He's a Banana Stand" because that's the title of this podcast when it goes up. That's 100% it.
There's a few banana stands in this field. I think to Wes's point, Sepp could be a banana stand. Patrick Reed is an Augusta banana stand.
I have
like
Patrick on the card this week.
Yeah, I like him for top live. And as much as I said, I think I bet Rom outright. If it gets past that high-end tier of live, Patrick Reed's going to walk right through that door. 12-1, top live performer. But I saw my boy Byron, Model Maniac, tweet this week that if you bet Reed top 20 every year in the last 5 years, you've made more money than betting Sheffler to win this tournament every year for the last 5 years, like in totality. So yeah, Reed just like he doesn't mess around here.
Two quick
And the thing is, in past years, he's played
Go ahead,
lousy, and now he's actually playing good. Sorry.
No, you're good. Rip it.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Well,
just
Wes has
saying,
him to win.
I do, and I have placement market on him as well. I think a top 20 is a good bet, but I have a small bet at 100-1 on him as well. He's finally got a win. I think it took him 4 years to get a win. He won in Hong Kong back in November on the Asian Tour because he's trying to get those world ranking points to get in the rest of the majors. He just has this place figured out. So he's one of those guys you don't worry about the form. He figures it out here somehow.
I was going to ask you, Fienberg, to use banana stand in a sentence.
Yeah. There's always money in the banana stand.
That backfired. That wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be.
No, I don't
Second
know. Sorry.
follow-up. I asked you guys to all do something with $200, and I don't believe any of you bet anything Sheffler related.
What are you gonna do? I have too much fun building cards. Like I had just too much fun. Part of the fun in this, Sammy, is like the before it starts, building the bets, building a betting card. Betting Sheffler takes away all the fun. And then
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And putting all of my money on him doesn't even look good in the betting slip. Like I try it. Let's say I just want to put it all. That's not even worth the sweat. It's not even worth the sweat. Like congratulations to him if he does it. It's not even worth the sweat. I like to live in the world where I know it's like hard to compute, but just bear with me and pretend that back-to-back is really hard. That's proven. And the demons of Augusta do something to Rory. And then all of a sudden, this becomes such a wide open Masters. Like,
Jeff, to that point.
They're gonna Brooks Koepka through the front door here, right?
Well, no, but I want no. I'm even gonna go a step further. Who was the runner-up in the 2023 Masters?
Just tell me who won, because it's all Willie
John
Z.
Rahm.
Who?
Brooks
Brooks Koepka. Yeah.
Yes.
Brooks.
No, he was not the runner-up.
Phil. Who?
Yes. We have not talked about Phil yet.
He's exploded the top senior. I don't think I've seen a prop move as hard too. Max Homa to miss the cut. There was like a little plus money on their early Monday. Now he's like minus 150. But Phil top senior, Sammy, I've seen move to as low as minus 220. He's just gotten crushed. And you look at the market and you're like, how did I miss that? Because I should have been there out of the gate.
How is El Pato not getting any action at low senior? He just won. Got out of the Hooskow just a few months ago, and he won last weekend.
Gets out of the clink, and he's like he's like the second lowest guy on the board right now. I know. But realistically, like Phil at minus 150, I was on Follow the Money earlier, and we were debating this very thing. What's a better bet? Phil low senior or Phil to make the cut? And I argued Phil low senior because he can miss the cut and still beat the other guys if they all miss the cut, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, at minus 150, Phil low senior was like free money this morning. I think you're right. You're right, Jeff. I mean, and especially like for those of us who play DFS where we can, I think, we talk about Patrick Reed. I think Phil and Patrick Reed are both terrific plays this week as cheap guys that you could just do whatever with, and you can play whoever you want if you play those two guys.
Is there any interest in this market? I see BetMGM has, will any live player win the tournament? And you can bet yes and no. So it's unlike a lot of events where you can only bet yes or only bet no. There is a balance here financially. They're offering a live player to win the tournament just shy of 4-1. Any interest?
Not really.
I'd rather get cocky
Yeah.
and try to pick it. You know,
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've seen some of my buddies have like Sergio 150 to 1. He's going off at like 60, 70 now. So, right. But I don't. No, I'm not betting on them to win. And honestly, if I don't have the bet, like if it's not a guy I've bet on, I will probably be cheering against a live player.
Hey, Jeff, you mentioned Sergio. Sammy, I wanted to ask these guys this real quick. Wes and Jeff, I'm curious your take. So they're comparably priced now. They started out earlier comparably priced 6 months ago. Now they're comparably priced. Straka, Sergio matchup, -110. Who are you betting?
I got a little Straka at 80 to 1 for the win.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't, like now I'm like pot committed to it. So I'm going to ride or die with my horse. I love the Sergio futures. I miss them. I got no part in them. But it's 60 to 1. And then the ancillary, like, prop numbers that come off of 60 to 1. There is no real money for me in Sergio this week. But hey, that Masters flag behind me is 2017 signed by Serge. If he does it again in one of those hot fireball outfits, it would be quite a story.
It'd be Straka for me too. You're just getting, I think, more consistency here. You're starting to get a guy that he used to show up on leaderboards maybe 2-3 times a year at like lower events like John Deere Classic or something like that. Now he's actually in like big boy events and doing very well. That top 5 at the Arnold Palmer, the top 7 at Pebble in a signature event. So you're starting to see him not pick apart the low hanging fruit so much.
And
got a big boy caddy.
Sheffler like iron game and an ability to spike putt. And he hasn't totally mixed, but as Wes mentioned, like some great finishes and even in open championships, he's checked a couple boxes that you like sort of need a guy you're going to bet the Masters to have done.
I have
Guys,
2 more things.
Honestly, real quick, Sammy, with 2 seconds. So I'm just going to rattle this off real quick. So since Straka has Dwayne Dewey Bach on the bag, he's 39 starts, 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 2 more top 10s, 9 top 20s. 46% of the time, he's top 20 or better with Kevin Kisner's old caddy on the bag. His very first start, they won the John Deere. I think that is a significant difference in Seth Straka's game.
Very similar to Minwoo with Bo Martin on the bag.
Yes.
Got this text this morning from a buddy of mine who lives in Florida, and I can't share it because it's a screenshot. It's not like an internet website. He took a screenshot of the monopoly, and I use that word very purposely. It is a monopoly at Hard Rock Bet in Florida because the Seminole tribe runs it, and they can do whatever they want. Here are the first 10 players at the Masters market at Hard Rock Bet in Florida. You ready for this? Scotty Sheffler is the favorite at 5 to 2. John Rahm is 4 to 1. Hideki 650. Spieth 750. Sergio 10. DJ 11. Mickelson 11. Reed 11. Adam Scott 13. And Schwartzel 1750. Those are the top 10 choices at Hard Rock Bet in the state of Florida right now.
So is he
disgusting.
certain those aren't?
That's disgusting.
Those aren't like former winners or something or another market? Because that really surprises me.
It surprised me too. And he said that is the outright market, and the top of the screenshot says Masters 2025. So
okay.
I don't know, man. Like that seems pretty ridiculous, doesn't it?
It seems, it's obscene for sure.
And it can't be Americans only because I gave you Scotty, Rahm, and Matsuyama top 3.
I'm looking at my Hard Rock app right now, and I've got like Rahm 13, Morikawa 14. So maybe it's just different in Florida, obviously, but that would be awful if that's the case.
I see Fienberg is coming down with a sickness at those prices. Woo, man, the hold percentage is there.
I don't even. I love Florida's great, but that's scary.
250 on Scotty, like he's 2000 Tiger at that sports book, and then Rahm 4 to 1. And Rory's not even on there, so I don't know what the hell is going on down there in Florida. And then the last thing, we are all 3 guys that I believe we all like to eat. I have eaten nice meals with a couple of you guys right now. The Sheffler menu, right? I'm sure you guys have seen it. Don't know how much we've talked about it. This guy comes out hot. 3 apps, cheeseburger sliders, firecracker shrimp, Papa Chef's meatball and ravioli bites. The first course is chili, Texas style. And then your main course is either a cowboy ribeye or blackened redfish. 4 sides, mac and cheese, creamed corn, Brussels, and chipotle lime sweet potatoes. To top it all off with a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie covered in ice cream. Does this guy fucking know how to party or what, Fienberg?
This is how I would do it. Like, I appreciate this. The apps are like adulted versions of kids menu stuff that hits the spot for me, and then obviously a great piece of meat for the main course. So like, this is probably exactly what I would do. I would jazz up some like kids menu foods because I'm a child for life, and then some fabulous meat for the meal. I'm all in. This is my kind of dinner. Cooking for dessert, like, check mark.
A little bit better than Bubba Watson's menu in 2013 with the Caesar salad, Wes, and the grilled chicken, and the green beans.
Yeah, I don't want something that I can like go to Kroger and like prepare myself. I want something good like Matsuyama's menu when he had that Wagyu steak, which is like got like $100 wholesale. I can't imagine what the markup is at a restaurant, but I thought Matsuyama a few years ago was the standard. Even though it's a different culture of food, just the expense on that made me give it props.
Yeah, he went Wagyu and sushi, I think, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Sealey, what do you think of this menu?
I think it's elite. The only thing he's missing, throwing a few crab rangoons and some vodka Red Bulls, and I'm in on this thing. This thing would be right up my alley.
Yeah, vodka Red Bull.
Wonton, yes.
Oh, man, that's good. Well, I appreciate the 3 of you. I know we're going to leave here because we all have things to do, and Fienberg has to hop on Elf Spaces, I think, in about 10 minutes. So
no thanks.
Yeah, well, I hear Sean Perry's coming on again, even though he's banned. That's what I heard. No comment. No comment.
No.
All right.
It's Masters Week. I got things to listen to.
That's Wes Reynolds. That's Geoff Fienberg, and that's Jeff Sealey. You could follow these guys. Go to Chicken Dinner or go to my Twitter and please give them a follow. Check out their content. They have all been nailing the pin with the outright market. And these are 3 guys that I talk to and follow and read every single week when I bet golf. And I want to thank you all for a little golf clap here heading into Augusta. Thank you all for making time, and good luck with all your bets.
Good to see you, fellas.
Right,
thank you, guys.
It's Wes Reynolds, Geoff Fienberg, and Jeff Sealey as I drop them all one by one. The knowledge there, the information, and then they even help you balance your budget for the Masters. If you want to take a bunch of bets, you can follow Wes's model. If you want to go outrights, you can follow Geoff Fienberg. If you want to take a shot on a guy like Russell Henley, who Sealey's banging on the table to bet top 20, you can do that as well. Just bet responsibly and understand the more outrights you fire, the more volatile your Sunday will be or your weekend will be. That about does it. I appreciate you listening. Thanks again to my guests. Cash some tickets, make some money. If you appreciate this, hit that subscribe button, bottom right corner. Leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. And most importantly, enjoy the first major championship in the 2025 golf season. We'll see you next week.